Hi CK,
Hi, Baski.
what are we doing next to these tires?
Exploring each one of them.
Yeah, just to have a talk on tires, a lot of questions, because this is the single most important item on any two-wheeler. This is what keeps the motorcycle or scooter in contact with the road, and that contact determines everything else about motorcycles and motorcycling.
A good pair of tires instills a lot of confidence in the rider.
Ensuring the right tire for the right job is of prime importance. No point ordering chicken biryani and complaining that it is non-veg. So, 4 prominent samples just to convey and make an understanding of what the range is, what we can call what sort of tire. Of course, there is one tire which should be on this side.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, that's the pure track tire. We call it a
Slick.
slick, a racing slick. It's got absolutely no
No grooves.
grooves, nothing. It's a full racing slick. I'm sure you have seen a racing slick. So that should come on this end of the spectrum. On the other side is the knobby. This is called a knobby, right?
Yeah, knobbies.
This is a complete off-roading tire for dirt and competition use only. This is the other end and the slick on one end. For regular people like us, people who use motorcycles for commuting, for traveling, exploring, all kinds of different activities,
Mixed terrains.
not competition. Anything is possible with anything. However, talking within the normal framework, these are the 3 prominent patterns we can say in the range of tires that we can pick for our use.
True. Because obviously we put a street bias tire and you would want to take it off-road. Yes, you can still do it.
Anything is possible.
But the efforts that are needed, right, for you to maneuver the motorcycle, muscle it through, all that stuff, and the hit you get on the clutch plates with these tires.
So the purpose is very clear. It's a street tire, a tarmac tire for good roads. Yes, good roads are not there everywhere. There are bad roads and all kinds of roads. Predominantly, if my riding is going to be on tarmac, take out that intermittent broken roads. We cannot help it. That's part of traveling in this country. Tarmac doesn't mean it's going to be tarmac 100% of the way. There's going to be something on the way. However, if it is 90% tarmac, 10% is unpredictable road, whatever road construction or whatever it is, this can do a pretty decent job. This gives the maximum grip on tarmac simply because it's got more contact area. More contact with the road, greater the grip. However, some foreign objects, some sand, some soil, some gravel, some water can be pushed out through these grooves. That is a street biased tire. Anything to add?
Now I can share my experience. I had this on my RD, and when the tarmac is neat, it sticks.
Yeah.
It sticks. But then when you have a little bit of gravel, right, you get a bit gingery. And somewhere it plays on your mind because I've experienced it. As I said, you tend to get pulled off. Okay. So that's one thing that I would call out for these street bias tires.
Digressing a little away from the street bias tires, aren't tires all about confidence? A lot of thing is mental. If I put in a particular brand of tire which I am not fond of, even if the tire is actually delivering performance, I will not be comfortable on the motorcycle. It's a mental game.
Yes.
A strong mental game. If it is a brand that I admire, adore and I like, even if the tire is not performing so well, I will be happy riding on that tire. I'll have the confidence. So tires are a very tricky matter. A lot of placebo effect is there. I could probably just change the label on the side of the tire from brand A to brand B and give it to somebody who likes brand B. They will enjoy the tire. So a lot is here, but that's okay. A lot of life also is like that. All
Yeah, perceptions.
between here.
Perceptions.
So that's a street tire. Next is this. This is the midway between this and this. Can we get this out of here? Do we need this on the...
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think so.
because,
These are
these
purely
are
competition tires, and we just put them off. Doesn't want to go.
because it's tarmac.
Tarmac, okay.
So these are what I would call an all-rounder. Some people have numbers. I am not convinced about that terminology. 50-50, 70-30, 80-20, and then 60 ml, 90 ml.
I know it's evening, Busky.
I am more happy with those 30, 60, 90. I'm okay. But don't say 60, 40, 50, 50, 70, 30.
And that's something that even confuses me as well,
Yeah,
Busky, because brand to brand, it varies.
Yeah, some call with this a 60-40, some call it a 50-50.
Yes, exactly. And there is no standardization
That is why
across
I
the
said-
industry.
That's why I'm confused. I don't want to use that terminology. Let's take an example of 50-50 tire. The message being communicated with that 50-50 is it is 50% off-road, 50% tarmac. So does it mean I can use it only 50% of the time on tarmac or 50% of the time on dirt? Or does it provide 50% grip on tarmac and 50% grip on dirt? So it is neither ghar ka na ghat ka. Neither will it grip on tarmac nor will it grip on dirt. So what is the use of 50-50? Whereas the knobby which you have at the other end is very clear. Dude, I'll give you best grip on dirt. Don't talk to me about tarmac. Whereas the racing slick, I will give you the best grip on tarmac. I'm not going to give you anything on off-road or dirt. So I don't know if that 50, 60, 70, 30, 40, 60, not really. Yeah. There may be some logic to it. I have not understood, I am not convinced with that yet, and I don't bother with it, and I'm not losing any sleep. I'm quite happy looking at tires, how to look at them.
Yeah, I know you always dealt with binaries. It's a 0 or a 1, nothing in between.
Let's not mess with gray areas.
Yes,
Yes, no, on, off,
on and off.
full, empty.
What's this? Half, 1/3, 2/3?
So this is the midway, but it is not a 50-50.
Midway for my purpose.
Midway is not 50-50. No, but 50-50 is midway. That is
Yeah.
the reason why I don't use those 50-50, 70-30. Let's not confuse ourselves. If you are familiar with that 50-50, 70-30, please, if that works for you, enjoy and use it. I don't, CK doesn't, so we will not use those terminologies here in this video, in this discussion.
Yeah.
This has got bigger grooves. You've got set of blocks, an all-rounder.
Yeah.
This is the tire I have on my scrambler. This is the tire I switched to.
Okay.
This is the one. So this is the Tour R. This does pretty well on tarmac, and it's quite decent on bad roads with some gravel or mud, and it is pretty okay on off-road also. Since my riding is predominantly on tarmac and broken tarmac, this is what I would go for. I spend 90% of my time on tarmac and broken tarmac. 10% would be off-road and other things. I want to make that 90% of my journey most comfortable. So I will pick this tire for my scrambler or any motorcycle which I have and use, because that is what I use it for. Usage can vary. When I had the X-Pulse, right now KK has got an X-Pulse.
Yes.
Okay, the purpose of that X-Pulse is to do some bad shit off-road. Okay, he's reliving his old rally days when he used to race the show when he was young. That's about several decades ago.
You're being mean.
KK, you are older than some of the trees here, man. Some of the trees hadn't even sprouted when you were rallying. so KK fit these onto his Expulse.
Yeah, that's what I said, Busky. Fit for my purpose. Where is it that I am going to ride? What makes my rides? As you mentioned, yeah, right, 90% is tarmac and broken roads, right? For me as well, I think this tire makes a lot of sense for me because my usage pattern is very much similar.
Similar, yes.
At the most, off-roading, again, it's too much that we can, it's too big a world, right? And your equation of off-roading might be different compared to mine.
Well said.
So I appreciate this, and for the level of off-roading that I do, this makes a lot of sense for me, Busky.
For that 10% of off-roading, I want the maximum control. I would compromise 90% of my ride by trying to use something like this. Purpose for the tire should be clearly defined. So this is what is on KK's Expulse, and his purpose is very clear. That Expulse is used only to do some off-road bad shit.
Yeah, I saw him the other day in the coffee estate and the plantations. He was like zip zap, and
he understands that till he gets to that point, these are not the greatest grip on tarmac. They hum. They have a hum.
They're very loud.
Yeah, they are loud, and they're not very great on tarmac
cornering.
leaning.
Yeah.
He is fully aware, mindful of that. He rides accordingly. The second he gets off-road, he's like, there's a switch. Whoop, 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 he has fun. So that is okay. Clearly have a purpose. Buying something like this just because it looks good. I have an acquaintance of mine who did that. He said, "Sir, idu chanagide nodake sakatagide sir tire. This was too soft for him. No, it didn't portray his image.
Okay.
So this was more like his image, that I am an off-roader.
The manliness.
The manliness. And then after a few months he came back, sir, tire sikata. I asked him what happened, have you worn this out? He said, no, I ride mostly on tarmac only. I thought this looks great, so I bought it, but I don't have the confidence on tarmac. I said, yes, this is not purely designed for tarmac. There's a purpose for this. So manage it accordingly. Are you riding on tarmac to get to a dirt? No. Then why do you want this? So purpose is very important.
Yes.
Pick it accordingly. If it is 90% tarmac, broken tarmac, go with something like this. Or if it's like KK who says, I may have to ride 100 kilometers for 20 kilometers of dirt, but that's okay because that 20 kilometers is what I am going to have a lot of fun on. Yeah. Okay, then go with this. And be aware of riding with this on tarmac.
Yeah.
However, the same thing on this end of the spectrum. This can go to Ladakh and come back also.
For sure.
Yes.
When people can do it in scooters and mopeds.
Yeah.
You remember the doctor couple who went on a kinetic Honda?
Yeah, kinetic Honda. Then we have an LML Vespa doing it.
Yeah,
we have scooties going and coming. So anything is possible. However, to make things a little more easier for ourselves, going on this, knowingly aware I am going to Spiti Valley, putting this tire on going, it's not.
I wouldn't say it's the brightest thing to do, putting these, right?
However, if you already have it on your motorcycle, not wanting to spend any more on the motorcycle, hey, go, enjoy, nothing will happen. You may need a little help in some places where there may be some slush and traction issues. The world is not going to go crashing down on you. Enjoy the ride.
Not the end of the world.
Make it easy by selecting the right tire. Predominantly tarmac, highway, touring, some broken, and your motorcycle is a street motorcycle. What do you say, like the RTR 180s, the Pulsar 220,
the commuters,
the premium commuters?
Yeah.
This will be good. This will be good. They work well on all conditions.
True.
That This is for somebody maybe who does a little bit more,
Hmm.
does all what this can do. Plus, like us, we decide one day, let's head off to some betta somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's go do some nonsense there. Or we search on purpose for roads that go around. We don't take the highway. Is there a long way around?
Yeah. The windmills.
Yeah, the windmills. So that's where this sits in. This, there was a time when I would have enjoyed this some years ago. Now I'm done. I'm not so keen on doing so much of off-road because trying to go find an off-road it's a little too difficult these days. Everything is occupied, populated, restricted, forest, controls, village. So having some respect and concern for those boundary restrictions has now stopped me from going and searching for off-roads too seriously. KK and I used to do that just after COVID when things were very quiet outside. We used to pack breakfast,
Yeah, I remember.
water, sanitizer, mask,
Yeah.
and go stop under a tree, have a sandwich, search all kinds of road. Nobody used to be there. Damn, things have changed. Now there is nowhere we can go where we can actually do those kind of things. Things have just exploded the last 12,
the
18 months. Yeah,
Yeah, the last couple of years, I think.
post-COVID.
Yeah, post-COVID, life has come back with vengeance.
Getting to a place which is quiet is becoming more and more difficult. We are having to ride further and longer to get some peace. However, what happens to that place? No longer peace. So we go even further and we go even further. Can't help it. That's the circle of life.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. And then one fine day, it probably all comes back, maybe some thousands of years later.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
Tires.
yeah, coming back to tires. So, the tire import ban is a blessing and a bane. Okay, the bane is getting tires are very difficult, and even if they are available, you have to sell a kidney to get one. I don't know how you got it, and you still have two kidneys. How is from?
I have one more set at
Yeah,
home.
you have two sets. Yeah, two spare sets. Yeah.
But Baski, yeah, I understand that right now we are in the transition stage. Yeah, Indian manufacturers must step up and they must start making world-class products.
Yes, they must.
But what about consumers like us who are left high and dry? I think the plan should have been put in place in a proper way.
I think it was. The thing is, we don't follow. We don't understand. Please, can you make these tires? Please, can you make these tires? Can you make these tires? Can you make these tires? Make these tires. Hey, make these tires. Damn you fellows. Then we start making
these
tires. So the ban had to come in. those high speed. So 100, 90, 19. These are higher profile tires, more for off-road suited. A bigger sidewall, a taller sidewall to absorb some of those bashes and bumps to protect the rim. So that's the reason why off-road tires are of higher profile. So that is the second part, 100, 90. Hyphen 19. 19 is the rim size, that is the wheel. 17, 18, 19 and 21. These are the four prominent rims in use today. Street bikes are mostly on 17.
Yes.
The retros run mostly 18s.
19 and 18s.
Yeah, 19 and 18s. The adventure tourers run on 17, 18 or 18, 18 or 18, 19.
Yes.
And of course, something that has got an off-road bias. I've got a 21 in front, either a 17 or a 18 on the rear. Competition is completely different. They are very tailor-made. There are 19 rear and a 21 front. That is the off-road.
Yeah, that's pure
The nobbies.
Yeah.
They run on 19 on the
trail
rear.
bikes.
The trail bikes. This is the main thing. 100, 90, 19. Then comes a little indication here. It says 57P. These are also codes. 57 stands for the load rating, how much load this is designed for. Safe load. There's always a significant buffer built into everything when they put in these kind of load ratings. 57, and P is the speed rating. That is the maximum speed this tire can be used before it starts to maybe lose its profile.
Yeah.
It may start to become narrower because of centrifugal force. The sidewalls can start to get closer, and this can start to bulge out.
Yeah.
That is the limit. Beyond that, it starts to deform. It may not fail. That is the safe operating limit. Again, there is a buffer built in. So 57P, you could look it up, what 57 stands for and what P stands for.
We just looked it up for you. 57 stands for 235 kilos. P is speeds up to 150. Now we have a lot more. I think you can spend time on the net and find it out.
That is how to read the specs on this tire.
There's
And
some more here.
Another thing is they talk about manufacturing date.
Now, before you do that, you would want to talk about this. The
direction of
tubeless
rotation,
and the manufacturing date.
Direction of rotation is important. Please ensure it's always put in the direction it is indicated, simply because the treads are designed to bite and grab and push dirt, water and debris out of the way. So this is important. Putting it the other way around can cause premature wear and affect grip and stability.
These are unidirectional, if I understand it.
Yes, they are referred to as unidirectional. Most of the tires that carry this sort of rating are unidirectional. If you go to the older format, 3.0018, 3.5018, the metric, the old measure, which your Shogun.
I know it's old.
The Shogun has 318.
275, 18 in the front and 318 in the back.
Those are bidirectional tires. They don't have any direction. So if there is no arrow, you're free to use it on either side. So this is the old type of tires which carry the other type of numbering, used only in very old motorcycles.
Okay, we'll move on. Please explain this.
Like his old Shogun. Okay. Tubeless, if it is tubeless, it will say tubeless. If it is tube type, it will say tube type. Now, where is the difference? The difference is in this area. This is where it seals against the rim. So there is a certain type of material and a certain type of manufacturing that is done for a tubeless, so that there is no leakage here. Do not attempt to use a tube type tire as a tubeless. Leakage, it may hold, but when it lets go, it can let go in a bad way. So ensure you always use a tubeless tire for a tubeless purpose only. If it says tube type, no negotiations, install a tube.
And as reiterated in our previous videos, this tubeless tire needs a tubeless rim to go along with it. If you put it on a regular spoke wheels, you can still use this tire with a tube.
Right. No harm in using a tube in a tubeless tire. In fact, we carry tubes when we went to the mountains. We had tubeless motorcycles with us, tubeless setups with us. In case something were to really go wrong, like a crack on the sidewall for whatever reason, there is no way to patch that. What do? Stick in a tube, keep the ride going.
Yep.
So some long journeys, some rough and tough places, you can carry a tube. It is flexible. You can use a 17 inch in an 18, an 18 in a 19. So carry a tube that you can kind of manage, because it's an emergency situation. You don't need to carry a tube for each tire that you have in your convoy or your fleet. Generally 17, 18 you can carry one, 19 you can carry. You can also manage it into a 20. Let that not be a deal breaker. Just carry a tube as a backup.
Yep.
What else is here?
Manufacturing date, Busky.
Yes, that is the most interesting thing. If you see here, it says 3723. There is a small stamped out groove in the tire where there are numbers embossed, punched, or they kind of protrude out. It says 3723. 37 is the 37th week of the year 2023. So what is the 37th week of a year?
I thought we were talking. You're not asking me quiz questions.
Hey, find out what is 37th week.
Okay, 37 divided by 4, 9th months.
September.
Yeah.
So September 2023 is the manufacturing date. And another thing is, tires are treated like food items, like perishable. It's not that bad. It is okay to use a tire that is a couple of years old, nothing wrong. Yes, do not pick up something that is 5, 6, 7 years old. Agreed. 1, 2 years, feel free to use. What else is on a tire, CK?
I think we are missing the mark. I think we need to turn it around.
Aha.
Yeah, there you go. The mark.
Yellow dot.
Yeah.
You see this yellow dot? This is balancing information. This is the lightest part of the tire. Just by a few grams, or 10 grams, 20 grams, 50 grams. No tire is perfectly balanced. No matter which brand, international, imported, Indian, off-road, on-road, slick, they all have a light spot and a heavy spot. This is the light spot. This is used when installing the tire onto a wheel rim. Get the valve pin here. The valve pin is an extra weight which is not there anywhere else on the rim but in one point. So put that weight where there is the lowest weight. What this does is, it reduces the number of weights we use when balancing the tire to balance it. That's it.
You save some money.
It's just save some money, save some material. Why not if you can? If you happen to put the valve stem on the opposite side of this, probably you'll end up putting, say, 50 grams of weight. Perhaps if you do put the valve stem here, you'll end up maybe with 20 or 25 grams of weight. So that is the difference. If it is not installed that way, no harm done. It doesn't mean your wheel is out of balance. It just makes things easier. So look out for this yellow dot. What else, CK? Is there any other information we would want to share about these tires, or we are done for now?
No, we're done for now.
We are done for now?
Yeah.
Okay. And 6 years standard warranty. That's some heavy warranty, yeah? 6 years?
Yeah. So REISE is giving 6 years.
6 years. It says 6 years on this also.
And it says 42 months unconditional warranty.
Talking of the tread depth reader, there should be a TWI on these tires. Let's see if I
Yeah.
can find it.
Tread wear
Indicator. Can you find a
Let
TWI?
me look for it. Yeah, there you go. It's over here.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
TWI.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
It's a small marking. You will find it. TWI. There is a band of extra rubber that goes around here at the bottom. Once that is in level with the tread, it is time to change. It's too much of a pain. You can make out quite easily if it is worn out or due for replacement. However, this is a guide, a measurement to know if the tire is worn. That's why it's called a tire wear indicator. Once the tread is worn down to that level, time to change. Do not squeeze extra life out of the tire. Squeeze extra life out of your engine, out of the spark plug, out of the chain sprockets. All okay, all okay.
Brake pads.
Brake pads, that maybe, yeah, a bit risky, but keep an eye on it. But this, no. Rather err on the side of caution. This is what keeps you in contact.
I think it's better you do a proactive replacement, because you never know. And especially my philosophy is like, tires got like 2 or 3 punctures, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Let me, because it's very critical.
KK had a issue with his tire on his 310 GS.
Okay.
He got 3 flats in a space of 4 or 6 months.
Wow.
I don't know if that's an extraordinary coincidence or some sabotage, because they were all foreign objects. It is not a problem with the tire. Foreign objects penetrated a metal piece, a nail, a screw, all in just that 1 square inch, the same place. There were 3 patches. After 2, he started to play on his mind. He was not sure. He kept riding and riding. When the 3rd puncture happened, he fixed it, changed the tire. It's not a good idea to have 3 puncture holes in 1 square inch. Don't take the chance with the tires.
True. As I said, I get very apprehensive when I have a puncture. 2 or 3 punctures, and I'm like, let me change it.
Yeah, one here, it's okay. Doesn't matter, you can manage it.
I don't know. And again, Baski, I follow your philosophy. I think in one of the reels you had clearly mentioned which way to ride, which is the path you take, right? In a 4-laner, you can very clearly see 2 strips where it is more dark compared to the rest of the thing.
Yeah, these are some preventive measures we can take. I had referred to it in a previous video. You follow that anyway, even before I mentioned it. That's a riding habit. On a highway in a lane, we can see where the 4-wheeler tires are running most of the time. There will be a slight depression, a dark patch on 2 sides. That's the left wheel and the right wheel of 4-wheelers. They run on that. They're like a track. They almost form a track. And those tracks are normally, they have a slight indentation because of the constant load. They have sunk a little. The center is got a hump. Now, the center hump, which is not really a hump, but if we do look,
there's a slight bulge.
It is smooth. The center hump is smooth. It's got no undulations. It is super smooth. Good place to be riding on if smoothness is the consideration. Those 2 tracks are bumpy because the thing has compressed and settled down in different ways, slightly bumpy, not comfortable. However, all debris, dirt, rubbish, metal pieces, whatnot, even some animals that might have been run over, they all end up in the middle or between 2 lanes. Hardly any will be on the tracks. Riding in that slightly bumpy, shiny, dark track, the chances of a puncture is far less than riding on the middle or right in between 2 lanes on that white line.
It's plain common sense.
Debris also accumulates there.
It's plain common sense, Baski, because the tires' frequent usage,
they kick everything out.
It's as simple as that.
Grip is also highest there. Let it be oil or diesel. All that, everything gets pushed out to the middle of the track or between 2 lanes. So as far as possible, ride on those tracks. When overtaking, yes, pull out, get back on the track. A lot of traffic on some roads. We are close to a 4-wheeler. We can't see ahead because there may be vehicles on this side, there may be vehicle on that side. There are several instances for some distances where we have to stay behind a 4-wheeler, blind to most of what is ahead. If you're running on the middle, the chances of any boulder, a rock, a stone, or a dead dog popping up down the middle of the 4-wheeler, very high. it's unlikely the four-wheeler is going to run over any stone or a carcass, right? Even if they will probably weave a little,
out, yeah.
send that offending object down the middle
Yes.
or off to the side.
True.
So keep that in mind. Follow the wheel tracks. Do not run down the middle. Stay on the right wheel track or the left wheel track, where you can always take a peek down the side to see what's ahead, just to be prepared. Nothing is 100%. There is no bulletproof method. All we can do is minimize chances of a problem, maximize chances of getting to the destination with minimum trouble. It's all a balance.
It's a balance, yeah.
Elimination may not be possible. Reduction definitely possible.
Yeah. True.
What else? Anything else we have left out about tires? CK, something we used to share? I think we have covered most of it.
Yeah.
Street, middleweight, off-road.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick this for my Shogun as well.
You want to pick this for your Shogun?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see
Looking
if it's
good.
available for your old Shogun.
It's gonna look spanking new
I know,
than
I know.
any of the motorcycles being manufactured today, yeah?
Okay, one more point. On tarmac, this is the quietest pattern, least amount of tire noise. This is slightly noisier. This is a little more noisier. A hum, a din, or whatever it is.
A whistle.
Yeah, a whistle. Yeah. Please keep your tires in good condition, and tire pressure is very important. Low tire pressure can overheat the tire.
Boski, we are in summer.
Yes.
Any quick tips on air pressure for the tires?
Check tire pressures before you head out on a long trip. Because of summer and temperatures, the increase in tire pressure is more than normal. Do not check it out on the highway, because it is likely going to show 4-5 psi more. And that is okay. Tires are designed. There is a very clear instruction: cold tire pressure.
Yes.
Cold tire pressure. Cold doesn't have to be in the morning. It is just that before you start riding. Ambient temperature is okay, doesn't matter. Check, please ride. Do not try to compensate for the summer, dropping 2-3 psi. Not recommended. Tires are designed to accommodate. My Tiger, I had the TPMS on it. I used to fill it, I think, 40 or 42 on the
42 for the rear.
42 for the rear. We used to go to Goa and come back in that heat, Chitradurga, and then Davangere side, the kind of heat in Hubli area, the highways, cooking, the tar was melting. The tire pressure used to go up to 45.
Wow.
10%.
Yeah.
And then as I slow down, as the temperature drop, it comes back to 40. So do not worry about that. They are designed to handle. That is a range. 10% increase in tire pressure and return is okay. Low tire pressure is more dangerous than high tire pressure in regular use. Low tire pressure on the highway flexes the sidewalls. Flex movement builds up heat.
Yes. I was to say that.
The kind of heat that can be generated by sidewall flex is crazy. That heat can create a weak spot and boom.
Burst.
High tire pressure will not burst a tire. It will make it stiff and hard. Don't worry, 10%, 15% increase, even if it runs at 50 psi, it is not going to explode, because it is not flexing. Flexing causes far greater weak spots on the tire.
Yeah.
Overpressurization does not cause a weak spot. It just makes it solid like a rock, making the ride uncomfortable, making the grip also a little bit less.
You'll have a bouncy ride.
The ride is not comfortable. So please ensure the right tire pressure. Do not think of the tire like a balloon. Keep blowing it. The more you blow it, it's going to blow up and go boom. That's a childhood trauma we suffered when blowing balloons. From that trauma, we have come to this thinking that this will also blow up and explode like a balloon. The high-speed tire failures are caused by an underinflated tire.
Yeah. True.
Yes, the sidewalls keep flexing.
Yeah.
As they rotate, the place where they contact the ground, the tire you can see is squished like this.
Yeah.
Then it expands when it goes away from the road and it comes back, it's squished. So there is always a constant flex in the sidewall. There's only so much temperature the sidewall can withstand. The flex builds up temperature. And nitrogen. I don't have any comments about nitrogen. Anyway, regular air also is formed of what percentage of nitrogen is in air?
72%, if I get it right.
70%, 72%.
72, yeah, if I get
I'm
it
sorry, I'm weak in, I didn't do very well in science in school.
right. Yeah, me too.
And it was about 4 decades ago, so I don't remember.
But you are an engineer.
72% of regular air itself is nitrogen anyway. So I don't really see why we should go looking for a nitrogen air pump and spend that extra money. It's okay, you can do without it. We can't get it anywhere else. I've always used regular air for last 37 years I've been riding. What about you?
Yeah, when the nitrogen was initially the in thing,
Fashionable thing.
Yeah, I did try it out. Honestly, it did not make any difference. I switched back, and the other thing, the other practical challenge that I had was when you top up, right? You need to search where is nitrogen, and I was like, why make life so complicated?
Regular air is good enough.
And I am not a Valentino Rossi to say, okay, the 24% nitrogen is keeping my tires by 0.23 degrees less, and I can go even faster on the corner. I am not that super genius to understand it or experience it.
Not required. Not required. Regular air is good. If you feel nitrogen works for you, please feel free to use. It's a recommendation. Not really needed to use nitrogen.
So another thing that I usually do, Bosky, when I'm doing these trail rides and depending on the nature of the terrain, the trickiness or stuff like that, I sometimes tend to drop my PSI. So from the company manufacturer spec, say like for example 36 at the rear, I drop it to like 30 or 31. So this basically crumples the tire a little bit more, it flattens it a bit more.
Gives more contact.
It gives me more contact area.
Traction.
Have you tried anything on that?
I have tried that.
Yeah.
Dropping about 5-6 psi just to soften the sidewall so it absorbs a little more shock, and then it opens out a bit. There is more contact and more grip. I have tried that, and I have to reinflate it again, so I get a little lazy with that. I manage. It doesn't matter. I'm not doing that kind of.
You're more gifted than me on the off-road.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm gifted because I go so slowly. So that's okay to do. It's perfectly okay to do. Just make sure once you're done with that, you reinflate the tire. It's good. Do not overdo it. If it is too low, you risk on a tubeless the bead coming off the rim and sudden deflation. On a tube type, if it is too low, a pinch flat.
Yeah.
A pinch flat is when you hit an object, the tire gets completely pressed against the rim and the tube gets stuck in between and pinched and it cuts the tube. There's a risk of pinch flat. So maybe 5 psi is okay, 6 psi, do not drop it below that. If you can do your off-roading without doing that, is the best. You really want to do a little bit more? Yeah, feel free. Go ahead, drop it a little and enjoy. Once you're done, reinflate it. Lot of nice little battery electric inflators are available. You can carry it in your tank bag or your backpack or your toolkit. Fit it, pump it up again. Now, that's a practice that is quite common.
But my experience with those inflators, Busky, it is good only to top up. If you've got a tubeless tire and you've got a flat, pumping air in, I don't think it is sufficient. Have you experienced that?
I haven't.
Because it doesn't bite in, the lips don't bite in.
Oh yeah, it's only for maintenance.
It's only for maintenance.
Yeah, those are for maintenance. Really fixing a flat tire, it would be quite difficult. It may run out. It may not have the grunt to boom, push the beading against that lip. Anyway, we cannot account for every scenario. All we can do is, like I say, minimize the chances of getting stranded anywhere. So that's the thing about tire inflation and deflating it for off-road. And CK,
Namaste.
Tube versus tubeless.
You sure?
Do you want to get into that?
Has mankind ever found out whether the chicken came first or the egg came first? It's going to be the same.
The chicken is tastier, so perhaps we will go with the tubeless.
Yeah.
Tubeless comfort is definitely any day better. A tube type perhaps is getting a bit outdated. For off-roading, tube type again, that off-roading, it's a huge band. For my off-roading, for your off-roading, tubeless is perfectly okay. I don't need a tube type tire. People who are actually really genuinely aggressive, there are some excellent riders. Paul Tyres, our own
Nora?
CH Sadler.
Oh yeah, CH Sadler.
CH Sadler, Ausep Chaco. We have our
the guy who just won the Dakar. What's his name?
Harit Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got a very good placing there. People like that, yes, they need a tube type because of the way they ride, they are level. They are in a different level.
Spectrum.
Yeah. On another planet. People like me, tubeless is very good. More than enough for off-roading. And alloy wheel also is okay for me. I don't need spokes. Again, that off-roading thing is very fashionable. I need button tires and I need spokes because I do a lot of off-roading.
Baski, there I kind of disagree with you. I've always found the spoke wheels on the off-road, I think it's a much better, cushier ride. That's what I felt.
Yes.
Your alloys
Yes.
are a bit hard, a bit jarring. That's the only difference.
I'm okay. 10% of my ride, I'll take the jarring and hardness and tubeless comfort.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, then 90% of the ride, I'm happy with my tubeless because if I get a flat in that 90%, I don't want to remove the wheel and go put a puncture and come back. So again, it is a balance. That's all right. A little bit of jarring. I'll go a little slower. That's all. I don't need to. I'm not proving anything to anybody. I just want to enjoy my ride peacefully. The tube type is, tubeless, alloy, chalega. Everything is okay. Only my level I'm speaking about. Okay. So if you are into a different level, a different game, feel free to use spokes and a tube. And then don't complain about a puncture on the way to your dirt track.
Yeah.
Can't help it. Yeah.
Can't help it. True.
And it is a good habit to learn how to fix a puncture. A tubeless puncture at least. Kits are available, they don't cost much. Of course, in that also we have a very budget kit to very premium kits. They all do the same job. It's like a HMT watch and a Rolex watch. Both say the same time, but one says it stylishly.
The manner in which it says.
Learn to fix a puncture, it's okay. If there is a tubeless type tire on your motorcycle, you're running a tubeless system, it can save you some stress. With a tube, yes, the work is a lot more, it may not be possible. So what you could learn is how to remove the wheel. Putting it back is not easy, it's a skill job. I struggle to put a wheel back, really I sweat and suffer. I will manage it somehow, I have done that once. Rest of the times, I know how to take it off, take it to a puncture shop, fix it, come back with help from there to install. The idea is to go there at least. So you should be able to remove. Otherwise, you'll have to go, get him, take the thing, go back, fix it, come back. This can save the trouble of, just take the wheel, sit on. We have sat on a motorcycle, removed the wheel, sat on a motorcycle, a friend's motorcycle, gone, fixed it, come back with that guy on his vehicle. Yes, it costs a little more money. So learn some DIY skills. There are a lot of dealer workshops that conduct DIY sessions. You could enroll and learn how to remove and fit the wheel back and how to fix a puncture. Some basic skills. It could come in handy. It's like insurance. Hope you never need to make a claim, but good to have.
Yeah, good to have.
So CK?
Yeah, Baske?
You think we have covered most of what we can and we know and we are aware of?
Yes.
If there is something we have missed out, something you wish to know more, please put it in the comments. We will see if we can answer it there, or if there are many things we have probably left out, a lot of questions, we will have another video podcast where we can share information about those questions and suggestions.
Sure. Before we sign off, a trivia for the day. The first tire was made in 1888, if I'm correct, by John Dunlop. He made it for his 11-year-old son for his tricycle. Thank you. That's good. Bicycle, not a tricycle.
Well done, CK.
My pleasure, Busky.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We hope to do more podcasts like this on various topics of motorcycling. Hope you enjoyed. See you soon.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಓ ವಾವ್ 8-10